Hello everyone, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
So let's wait for another couple of minutes, then we will start. Maybe I see very less people today. Only 7 people has joined. Let's wait for another 2 minutes. So yes, I think we will start. So people can join later on also. So anyhow, those people get the recordings. And good morning everyone. How are you all?
Good morning, sir. All good.
Morning.
What is sent the message? Right. Okay, let's see. Okay, then. So do you guys have any questions on our previous classes? Okay, I'll take this as no questions. So let's continue with our actual topics. So far, I'll just recapping whatever I guided and whatever you guys learned so far is like the basic executions of Python using the print function and utilizations of some multiple Python built-in functions, and as well as mathematical operators and conditional operators, conditional statement, that is if, elif, and else condition. By using these kinds of things, like how we can control your flow of execution of your scripts. Okay, so far we learned these things, and yeah, so we actually you guys also already learned the Python data types. What are the type Python? What are the data types available in Python? Like how we can check using a type function also as well. So that you guys are already aware of. So today I'm going to show some of the indexing and slicing of in Python, how we can do that in Python, and how we can extract the some substrings of or sub part of any of your data, like some part of your data, how we can extract it by using this indexing and all. Okay, so let's get started. So before that, again, I'm asking you guys any questions. Okay, then I'll start. So here you guys can see, so indexing. So indexing is nothing but position of each variable, each value. So I will change this as value. Okay, value and starts from 0. For example, here, you can see that this is our string, that is hi, how are you? That's it. And this question mark. So if you want to identify the position of each of the values, each of the letters is, it will starts with 0. Okay. So ends with that, the like limit of like length of that particular data. Okay. So it will start with from 0. Okay. From left to right, actually. So if we are going to count it from right to left, the index position will start with 1, actually. So it is, we can say it as that is in the reverse order. So that's why we are indexing within a negative symbol. So to denote, it is in the reverse order. So by giving the comment with by giving the index position with the negative sign, it means that it should take in a values from the in a reverse order. Okay. Then again, from left to right, the index position will starts from 0. From right to left, the index position will starts with 1. Okay, with negative sign. Then, so this is how it is. Then, if you really want to like what I can say access the values with the index position, so you need to follow this way. So you can just executed this string, that is my string. I'm just printing it over here, that is hi, how are you? So here if I want to print only h, then how I can print it? So you can just call up with a square bracket. Okay, so how you are going to call the functions? So at the end, you are providing a parenthesis, right? So here you should provide this square brackets. So this is, we can call it as an indexing. Here inside of that, guys should provide a index, like a position of that particular required value. Okay, so here the h value is 0, its index position is 0. So I want to print h as well. So I just providing a 0 in here. As see, I can print that word. I can access that word from this entire list. I can access my required part of that in data, right? So then another way of printing this H is from the reverse order. So let's count it from the reverse order. 1, 2, 3, 4. Space also you should consider, that is also a data in Python. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 15. Okay, so let me add 15 with the negative sign. So I'm just counting from in the reverse order. So let's see what it prints. Yes, see, it prints the H. So you should so here while doing an indexing, you guys should aware of. So if you are counting the index position from left to right, L to R, then the index position will start with 0. From right to left, the index position will starts with 1 with a negative sign. So negative sign means it is, you are counting, you are providing an index position in a reverse order. Okay, this is what it is. So then, so by using that index position, how we can do the slicing? Slicing means like that is actually the particular accessing of your data. Okay, how we can access the subpart of your data, of your string, any of the values, any of the data structure. So how we can do that? So let's see here. Slicing in Python is a feature that enables accessing a parts of sequence like strings, tuples, and list. So the sequence could be anything, strings or list or tuples, whatever it is. So from that sequence, like how we can have how to access sub part of those sequences, right? So here, yeah, here I just created a small list and as well as tuple and as well as string. Okay, these three inputs. So let me I'll add this in here only. Okay, so I have these three sequences. So let me access some part by using this index position is if I execute it as 10, then so it's a space. You can see in the 10th position of the strings we have space. Let's see 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So in the 10th position we have the space. So that's what understood by the Python. So that's why it is printing that. That's it. So
What will happen if we give the out of limit value like 20, which is not there?
this will directly gives an error. See, string index out of range. Got it?
Yeah.
Then, then other question is like, okay, I can access some part, some word with using an index position. But if you want to trim and if you want to access some of the values from lower limit to upper limit from 0 to 5, how I can access all together? All the position started from 0 and ends with a fifth position. Like how I can access in between values at together. So that is what actually the slicing. So you can see here in this example, we have this column. Yeah. So we have this column, right? So it means, so this is a starting position. Okay. This is the ending position. Okay. So here I'll just press on a shift tab whether yeah, I can get the doc string over here. So this is string. Hi, how are you? That is the string. So length is 15. So it's giving the length, whatever it is, it's a 15. So in this way, you can avoid giving a out of index values. Okay, you can just check the length by using length function as well. Then, uh, yeah, so I will access this one here. I want to, actually, I want to print only how. That's it. How to print it? So I need to provide the starting position values, right? Then I'll just count it 0, 1, 2, 3. So it will, I need to start with 3. So I'll just give it as a 3. Then colon. End of value is 3, 4, 5, 6. See? See how I can access that particular word. So in the same way, you guys also can access it. So here you can see. So please keep in mind that so this position value is including and this position value is excluding. Okay, and always end position value is excluding. It means so this is not going to access the sixth position values. It is going to access the previous to that end position. Okay, that will exclude it. That's it. So you can see here H starting position is 3, right? And W position is 5. Why I'm not given 5? Because it is going to exclude that position. So in that case, it is better we should increment that position with 1 actually. So that's why I give it as a 6. So I can easily access it. That how. But yeah, go ahead. Somebody is using the
Negative index also we need to add
yes.
here.
Yes,
Minus
you
3,
can.
minus 6.
Yes, you can. So if you added a minus 6, you can see what happened. There is minus. See, till, so you can just count it from in the reverse order. 1, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, this is E. So this is excluding. Then it is taken only to till ARE. So negative, like in the reverse order, you can also give it, not a problem. But if you are counting from the reverse order, don't forget to provide a negative symbol, negative sign. Okay, this is how you can access the particular words. Okay, any questions? Then, in the same way, so you guys can try to access some of the words in the tuples or list. Okay, so I'm going to print this tuples. So I want to print only this string. How I can print it? Please go ahead. If anyone have any idea.
Tuples in bracket 3.
In bracket 3,
2, sir. 2.
3.
2 or 3.
2.
It's the right one is 2. Why not 3? Because again, I'm telling that it started within a 0. Okay. So in the list, what happened? So we are not going to count it as 0, 1, 2, 3, not like that. So separated with comma, those values we can take it as one single positions. Okay. So see, so 1, 2, and kilo is separated within a comma. So then we are call it as an each value as an one each positions. We are going to assign within each position. 1 within a 0, 2 within a 1, kilo within a 2. So in the same way, so now I want to access only I now. How I can access it? I'll just erase everything. Okay. So I want to access only L. How I can access that? Any idea? I'll tell that. So first you need to bring that word. So you should to take out some values from this bracket first. How we can take out that kilo from the bracket? By accessing, right? By accessing that kilo with their index position. What is the index position of that kilo? It is to, first I'm going to extract that from the tuple. Okay. Then what happened? It is, yes, I'm successfully able to bring that kilo out of that tuples. Now, what is the index position for L?
2.
What is the index position?
2.
2. So again, I'm going to give the brackets. So inside of that, I'm providing a like index position of that L. So now see, in this way, I can access that nested in the nested way as well. Okay. This is how you guys can access the values in a deeper level. So this is all about. Okay. So again, you guys needs to try these things within a multiple examples. So here we have a list as well. If you wants to access this hello, you can just take out from that list. Then you can start indexing the position of that particular required values. Then you can access it by providing that index position in square brackets. Okay. Any questions? So in this way, you can see. So ILO also I can print it by slicing. So by providing a starting and ending position. Okay. So yes, any questions so far? Okay. Then here I have a question. Okay. So you guys can see it, right? My string, that output is hi, how are you? How I can access ARE only? Can anyone tell the code? ARE, how I can access that? Come on. Only I should write, huh? So you can see the index position of ARE. What is the index position? Starting position? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
7.
6, 7. So I'm going to accessing the values starting the position of 7. Then what is the ending position? 7, 8, 9. Then if I give the 9, what happened? This is going to exclude that 9th position value. Then
10.
I should
We
give
need to
one
give
more.
10.
I should give one extra position, that is 10.
10.
Right. So let me execute this line of code. See, I can easily able to access that ARE. Any other way to access? Because so from this string, okay. So I'm not going to take, these are the, like we have these 4 words. Okay. ARE is a one word among that 4 words, correct? So I'm not going to accessing W space ARE or E space U, not like that. So it is like it is clear that so ARE is a one of the word in that string. So how I can extract that particular word in another way without slicing or indexing? By using our previous classes knowledge. How I can? Anyone? Okay. Other question is, we have a string. So in our previous classes, I told that how we are going to split the words in the strings by using split function, right? So this is a string. So I'm pressing a dot and tab to check if we have any split function, because I want to split these values separated within a comma, right? Then I'm going to take split, split function. So I'm going to give a separator as a space because I want to separate the values within a separated within a space. Okay, so I'm just executing this line of code. See, hi, how are you? The 4 words get separated. Now, how I can access this
Vikrant,
AI?
I
So
mean,
I
if we
can
don't use double quotes, the space, I mean, won't it by default split by the space only? I think by default it's splits by spaces only. If you remove this and press enter, I think it will.
by default separator is given as a none.
Okay.
So you can always check, you can always press the shift tab to check the default values. Okay. Yes, this is not actually a required argument. This is an optional argument. Okay. So see
If
here.
you don't have space, then we can't use the split, right?
See, by
yeah,
default
so
it is none. Yeah. By default it
see,
is none.
yeah, it is using space only. That's what I was saying.
Yeah. If it is none,
But
it is by default it is going to take the space, but it is not a required argument. This is again an optional argument. If you want, you can give it. Otherwise, you can specify your own separators. Sometimes it is separated with an underscore, like in your data, you guys can see like full name, right? First name and last name is attached, always attached with an underscore. In that case, like how you are going to extract the first name and second name by the full name. So then you are going to give the separator for that as an underscore. Then you are going to splitting that as a first name and second name. So in that case, how you are going to access the first position as a first name, second position as a last name? By providing index position, right? So they have on this situation, we have only 2 positions, 0 and 1. 0 is the first name and 1 is the last name. So in this way, you need to use this knowledge in any of the data transformation, data extraction, or data manipulations. Okay. Now,
In case if you don't have space, like, first name and last name, sometimes it will mix. Then we need to go for like, my string to split the word. Right now, split is there and space is there. So we use space. If you don't have space, then I wanted to access ARE. Then I should go only for my string.
Yeah, the for slicing only, but it's a very rare thing. So you will not always get like first name as Vikrant, Vicky. So you will not get these kinds of things in the world, because if it is not separated within any spaces, then we can call it as a single name. In that case,
No,
if you wants to
okay.
extract, so if you know that, yeah, you know that is Vikrant is a first name, Vicky is another name, like last name. But how machine is going to understand, how customers, if any other customers is going to understand that, yeah, this is first name, this is last name. So in that case, it is not actually the valid thing in the real
Okay.
data world. You will never get this kinds of. Otherwise, so you know that, right? Only you know that Vikrant is the first name. So then what you are going to do? You are going to do a slicing with providing a starting position and ending position, and you are extracting this as the first name. And you are extracting this Vicky as a second name. Okay. What happened? In the same column, in the same data, in the second row, you have an other name with as a small like what I can say, Virat Kohli. Okay, so if it is not separated within a space, then again you have to provide index position. That is not at all possible for each and every records to slicing.
Yeah,
Okay,
but
the data
sometimes it may
always.
happen, right? So generally when they're entering like, name, like, bad data, it
Mhm.
might happen, right? Not for all the names, maybe few names like, uh,
So let's
generally,
as
yeah, generally if the hospital people, yeah, first name, last name check boxes are different. I see that kind of bad data, but I'll go and I'll check. Okay.
yeah, because like if your data having 1 million row, consider it.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Okay, from that 1 million row, you have 1 million customer records with the full name. So think about, if it is not separated with any of the values, it's not underscore or space, nothing like that. Okay.
Yeah, it's
So simply
difficult.
it's a plenty word, simply it is. Then is it possible to like check each and every row and do this slicing?
No, it's not possible. Yeah. That's why
So
I just wanted to check, because everybody name is not same, right? Length. Yeah.
yeah, everybody's names
Mm.
is not same.
Okay.
So if it is separated with any of the separators, so then you can specify it. Sometimes it is separated within a full name is Vikrant underscore Vicky. So in that case, you can specify that underscore here as a separator. So and it is going to separate that as a two words, and you can split that. So in the same way, so here you can see, hi, how are you? So what is the index position for ARE?
10, right? And,
2.
10 or 2?
2.
2.
2, yes.
2, 2.
Yeah. Oh, what happened? Yeah, I just need to specify the separator. Yeah, it is 2, right? So in this way also you can access it. So to achieve any of the results, okay, in Python, we have multiple ways. If you are aware of all the Python built-in functions, techniques, and the way of doing that, you may find nearly a 5 to 10 solution for the same problem, at least. See, to achieve the same things, here only we have 2 solutions. In 2-3 classes only I covered. So for only extracting this ARE, we have 2 solutions here. So think about, if you are good, if you are practiced more on Python built-in function and utilization and these shortcuts and all those things, think about that in a second itself, without taking any help from anyone, you can find at least a 4 to 5 solution for each of the problems, right? So then let's go ahead. The next thing is, so I have given like so more examples over here, and another thing I wanted to show, to clean the raw data. So in your data, you have these kinds of data. Is it good data? If you see these kinds of behavior in your data,
No, no,
is it good?
no.
Why?
Extra spaces.
Yeah, extra space is there, right? So in any of the modeling, So this will not work. It means this will pass some false information to user, this your machine, because how machine can know this is actually the unwanted space and all. For Python, this space and these words both are same, right? Both are the characters, but us only know that it is a meaningless. The spaces is meaningless. How Python is going to understand that? So in that case, we should avoid providing a unwanted data, unwanted things to Python, right? So how we can avoid it? So Python, for that, Python is always providing many built-in functions and methods to clean the data first. Okay, how we should clean that? So string 2, I'm going to print it. So we need to tap hand. So from slicing also you can do that by providing an index position. Okay, so you can just extract that Vikrant as a name. So see here we don't have any spaces. At the same time, you can use the Python built-in functions, that is a strip. Okay, strip means it is going to remove the unwanted space directly. So see, it is directly going to remove that unwanted spaces. So here again, if I added one more space, multiple space over here, okay, then this is anyhow removing the position, like the same code. Okay, the same dynamic code is able to remove that unwanted space. But if I execute this line of code, see, if I executed this line of code, this code is fails in such scenarios. Okay, you may also, again, you have to change your code based on your data. So you should do code always like in the dynamic way. It means, so whatever the inputs are coming from the user, so your code should work upon that. So it is not like if your inputs has changed again, you have to go back to your code and you need to change it. No, your code should dynamically act based on that. Okay, so in that case, you people should aware of this Python functions. So here you can see I'm directly going to use the strip. So you can give many spaces. Okay, so that one function, one line of code can do this work. Okay, so it means it's simple that any unwanted space in that string, you can just remove that. Whatever the length it is. So yes, so you guys should aware of these things, and you can check the length as well by using this length functions. Yes, in the same way I'm giving multiple examples over here. So when I send this notebook, you can just make a practice of that. So any questions so far? Is all clear for you all, or you don't understand anything?
In case space is there, like in middle, like how are you, right? In middle of the word, that also will remove, right? It doesn't matter wherever the space if you use strip.
No.
No,
So no.
it's a beginning.
So it's only for beginning. So if you have a space over here, okay, so in this way, so it may be some meaning actually. So why they have added a space? The data had some space. Why? Because so if you see, so if I add a space over here, if I given as a, like if this strip works removing this space as well, then what happened? It is manipulating the data. So you can consider we have this full name concept, right? So in the full name concept, you have this trailing space as well and a single space between the two first name and second name. If it removes this space as well, then what happened? In that case, we can't find the first name and second name, right?
Yeah.
So,
Mm.
it is not like we should not change the data. We should maintain the quality of the data. So
yeah, you are right. It may that is wrong, like first name, last name, space. But within first name, if you build the application like allowing spaces, some people will enter within Vikram also with space. So if you want to pull the data, we need to remove the space, right? Not for like all million data, but there will be bad data, right, within that.
yeah, so if we have multiple spaces like this, okay, then what you should do first, it's your call, you are a developer, you need to think in that way, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
how I can clean it. So in that case, you can separate these two first. Okay, you can separate these two first with this separation. Okay, then
Okay.
if we have any spaces in the first name or last name, then you can apply the strip function. So then it is going to remove the beginning and ending spaces. Right? First you can
Okay.
split it. First in that
Okay.
case, first you can split. Then you can do the strip.
Okay.
Yeah.
For beginning and
Yeah.
ending spaces, we have the L strip and R strip, right?
Yeah. So the strip will works in the both the things. Okay. So if you really wants to remove the spaces in the left side or right side, you can in that time you can give it. So if you really wants to remove the left side spaces only or right side spaces only, but strip can do both the things by default.
Basically, it's a trim function only, but in the Python, they're calling strip, right?
Yeah. So it's actually a string operation. If it comes to the data frame, okay, if it comes to the data frame, there we have the trim only. So that strip will not work. This is just a string. So this type is string only.
Okay.
If it is a column object, then we are doing in a trim.
Got it.
Yeah. So this is just a string type. So each and every type, every data type have their own methods. It's the same for all. So that's why I shown this shortcuts to use this dot and press tab. We will find it. This it. Then yeah. So shall we go for next concept, or still you have any question? You need some clarification on that? Okay, then. So next concept is loops. Loops is very most important topics in Python because you guys should know these kinds of loops to iterate any of the iterables. So very firstly, we have only like two sets of loops. Okay, so that loops concept can add in any of the programming language as well, like in C, C++, in Java, in all the languages we have this loop. Why? Because so we in our real world data we have the iterable objects. So to do any of the transformations for iterable objects, we should have some loops, right? So in the same way in Python also we have that. That is for loop and while loop. Okay, so let's see what is for loop. For loops are used for sequential traversal. For example, traversing of a list or string or array. So you can see this list and array is having iterable objects. Iterable values means the values which is separated within a comma and enclosed within any of the data structures. Any of the data structure in the sense list, tuples, and the sets. Okay, those are the data structures actually. So that should be enclosed with these kinds of data structure, and the value should be separated with comma. So then we can call it as an iterables. So iterable for iterable can only we can use it in loops. Okay, if the values are not iterables, except strings. Okay, don't bring that strings here, except the strings. So if it is iterables, then only we can iterate that. Okay, in any of the for loop or while loop, we can do that. Then while using that, so we should know the syntax of that, like how we are going to use the loops. Okay, so here you can see. So for, again in the for loop, we have a for as a keyword, and this is a iterable variable. So this is up to you, whatever the values which you guys wants to give it, you can give it here as a variable name, as a iterable variable name. You have to provide it. In again it's a keyword in Python. So for iterable variable in, and you have to provide the sequence. Sequence in the sense list or tuples or sets or string, any sequence you can give it. Okay, and colon. So once you done with this line of coding, so then you have to move it to the next line with the one tab space. One tab space in the sense now you are working inside of this loop. Okay, So if your statements or if your code is not inside of your for loop, then it is not considering as a iterables, like iterable executions. Okay. Then like see if it is in this position, if the statement doesn't have any one tap space, then what it means? So it means the Python is considering that we don't have any statement inside of this for loop. Then what happened? It is going to raise a error that so your for loop doesn't have any statements to execute. So it is uncompleted. So once you write this for loop, you should have some statement inside of your for loop. It is not like simply you can do for iterable variables in the sequence and colon, that's it. No. So after this colon, you should have some statement with one tap space. So I'll just press a tab. That's it, one tab or 4 spaces. Okay. So you can see one tab is equal to 4 spaces. It is. So this is at the syntax. Then, so to execute actually first for loop, so we should have some sequence, right? So I'll go with a list sequence first of all. So I'm creating a list over here. Okay, 1 1 2 3 4 5. Then so why I'm only taking integers? Can't we take in a string in the list? Yes, you guys can take that. There is no restriction that only integer data type, only string data type. No, it's a mixture of all the data types. We can add it. So, but those should be separated within a commas. Okay. Let me execute this line of code. Yes, I'm able to execute it. See, now I'm going to create a for loop for that. So I'm just writing a for as a keyword in Python for and iterable variable. So for that, I'm just going to give I. That's it. So you may give any of the things where or whatever the name you guys can, if you want, you can give it. For I in sequence, my sequence is X. So X is, I'm going to give X and colon. I'm just pressing a enter. By default, it will take the 4 spaces. Okay, you no need to give in your own. So if you are not like if I by mistake, if you pressed a backspace or something like that, then we should aware of that. We should have some one tap space over here and like this. Okay, so just I want to iterate these values from this for loop. So in that case, what I'm going to do is as a first execution. So I'm just printing it, print of these values. I want to see what are the values coming inside of these loops. So that's why I'm just adding a print statement of I to print to see the values at least. So see what happened. 1 1 2 3 4 5. So from like whatever the values we have in this list, those values are coming in a sequential order into this for loop, into this for loop. Okay, so maybe like here I can add some other print statement as some underlining the things. See, for each of the iteration, this line should print, means first this should print, then 1, then again this string, then again this one. So in the same way, it should go in the same order. Let's see what's happening here. So first it is printing the first statement as a first iteration, then 1 is printed, that's done. Then again it is going to for loop and seeing do we have any other sequence in the queue. Yes, we have as a 1, then it is printing them. Then again it is going to for loop, then I is going to check the X. Do we have any other values in the queue? Yes, we have a 2 on the queue. Let's print it. In the same way, this order goes on till the 4. Again, once print the 4, then it is going to that for loop and checking that we have any other values on the queue. Yes, we have 5. Then it is printing. Then again, it is going to check it. Do we have any other values in the queue? No. Then it is coming out from the loop and completes the execution. This is how for loops works. Okay. So then if you really want to do any of the operations for each of these values, maybe if you really want to increment all these values with 1, what is the result? What is the expected result? This 1 will become 2, this one become 2, and 2 will become 3, 3 will become 4, 4 will be 5, 5 will be 6, right? So if I wanted to add some, like if I wanted to increment these values by 1, how we can do that? So it is not possible to simply add a plus 1. No, it is not possible. So in that case, you need to access each and every words. Okay, how we can access each and every words? So as we already know the index, like how we can access the values from using index position. So we can use that as well. So 0th position, that is 1. I'm going to increment this with 1. See, that is 2. Then, so it is very risky job, right? To check each and every, to provide the index position for each and every values and increment it with a 1 and save it into any of the data structure. It requires lots of energy. So in these situations, we can do that for loop. Okay, so yes, we can do that. Let's see how we can do that. So I've just wanted to increment these all values with 1, right? So I will add the simple logic over here. So anyhow, I don't want, anyhow, I'm like accessing the values in the iterable manner, right? So I don't want to use this index position. I can directly use this straight away word, that is I straight away values. Then I plus, then it is 1. That's it. See, 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is how you can do any of the transformations for the values. Okay. This is how for loops works. So by using this for loop, we can do actually many logic, many complex logic we can create, right? So how we can create that? So in our previous classes, I shown one example to create a sum function actually, right? So how we can do the sum function, how we can increment the values and all. Then, so here I'm just printing it, right? How I can save these values in any of the data structures means how I can save it in this way, in this list data structures, these values, how I can store these values in any of the data structures. So for that, I'm going to create some empty list for, okay, to store these values. What is that? Results is equal to, I'm just creating an empty list. Okay, so I wanted to push these results into the inside of this list. I want to load these values into this list. How we can load it? So it's very easy. So res dot press tab. Do we need to see, do we have any options was there or not? So I'm just checking append. So yeah, we have this append function in means. So to this list, we are going to append some of the values. What are those values? The results, right? This is I plus 1. I'm going to append these values. So first 2 is going to appending into this results list. Then again this 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Continuously the values is going and appending into this list, right? Then I'm going to execute this line of code. So let's print this res here. See, 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The results get stored in this empty list. First, I created an empty list. Then I just loaded all the values into this list. This is how we can do that. We can store our values. Any questions? This is what the basics of for loop. So let's see some more examples of for loops and as well as while loop in the next session. I'm taking a pause now. So if you guys have any questions, we will discuss at this moment. If you don't have any questions, then can just enjoy your rest of the day and the weekends. Okay.
When is our
Thank
next
you.
class?
Yeah. Come again?
When is our next class?
On Monday. So Sunday, it's holiday, so you can enjoy your days. The next class would be on Monday.
Thank
Okay.
you, sir. Thank you.
Bye.
Okay,
Bye.
thank you.
Take care.
Bye
Have a
bye.
great weekend.